UI dimohon untuk melakukan protokol kesehatan yang dianjurkan oleh pemerintah. Kedua, dilarang membawa minuman keras dan obat-obatan terlarang. Jagalah kebersihan dan buanglah sampah pada tempatnya. Selanjutnya, hadirin tidak diperkenankan merokok di kawasan FTSP UII kecuali di area merokok. Pastikan puntung rokok Anda mati sebelum Anda membuangnya ke tempat sampah. Gedung FTSP terdiri dari 4 lantai dan 1 basement. Pastikan Anda mengetahui posisi Anda saat ini, dan luangkan waktu sejenak untuk mengetahui pintu darurat atau jalan keluar terdekat. Apabila terjadi gempa, tetap tenang dan jangan panik. Segera berlindung di bawah meja yang kokoh dan hindari berada di dekat benda-benda yang mudah terjatuh seperti lemari dan dinding kaca. Lindungi kepala Anda dengan benda yang aman, pastikan keadaan benar-benar kondusif. Dan carilah petunjuk jalur evakuasi untuk menuju titik kumpul. Di setiap lantai gedung FTSP UII memiliki alat pemadam api ringan atau apart yang mudah terjangkau. Periksalah apart yang terdekat dari lokasi Anda. Apart dapat ditemukan di setiap koridor gedung dan ruang pertemuan. Apabila terjadi kebakaran, tetap tenang dan jangan panik. Segera keluar melalui pintu darurat dan jalur terdekat. Ikuti petunjuk jalur evakuasi untuk menuju titik kumpul. Dalam keadaan darurat, tinggalkan barang-barang Anda dan lepaskan sepatu hak tinggi untuk memperlancar proses evakuasi. Gunakan tangga dan hindari lift. Terdapat 4 tangga yang berada di setiap sudut gedung. Pelajari dana evakuasi di lokasi Anda saat ini. Jika Anda terjebak di dalam lift, tetap tenang dan segera tekan tombol bantuan. Petugas keamanan akan segera datang untuk menolong Anda. Ikuti arahan dari petugas keamanan atau panitia. Dalam keadaan darurat, atau jika ada orang atau benda yang mencurigakan, silakan menghubungi nomor ekstensi 3239 atau menghubungi petugas keamanan terdekat. Demikianlah petunjuk keselamatan di gedung FTSP UII. Terima kasih atas perhatian dan kerjasamanya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning, distinguished guests, respected faculty members, fellow architects, students, and also the participants. First and foremost, let us express our deepest gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His endless blessings and guidance, which have allowed us to gather here today in a good health and high spirit for Architect Talk Series 24. Themed Architecture Beyond Building, Shaping Identity, Culture, and Community. On behalf of the organizing committee, it is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you. We are delighted to have you with us, and we hope today's discussion will inspire meaningful conversation, broaden our perspective, and also encourage us to reimagine the role of architecture in shaping identity, culture, and community. It is my great pleasure to acknowledge the presence of our honorable guest, Dr. Architect Yulianto Purwono Prihatmaji, STMT EPM IAI, as the head of the Professional Architecture Program. Second of all is the Architect Erlangga Winoto IAI as the chair of the Indonesian Institute of Architects Yogyakarta chapter. And our respected lecturer from Department of the Architecture and all participants of Architect Talk Series 24. We are especially honored to welcome our distinguished speakers, Professor M.D. Rafiq Azam from Bangladesh. Second of all, Architect Rebecca Vanessa D.L. Relosa from the Philippines. Third, Architect Zanat Joy from Bangladesh. Give applause, everyone. And last but not least is Architect Alan Shung from Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us today. It is truly a privilege to have all of you with us, and we look forward to an inspiring and insightful discussion. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are gathered here today, Saturday, 25th July 2026, corresponding to 11th Safar 1448 Hijriyah, in a good health and high spirits. May peace and blessing be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Amen. To officially commence today's program, I would like to invite everyone to recite the Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Architect Talk is an annual academic forum organized by the Professional Architecture Program, Universitas Islam Indonesia. This year's theme is Architecture Beyond Buildings, Shaping Identity, Culture, and Community. This invite us to explore architecture beyond its physical form. It encourages us to reflect on how architecture shapes identities, preserve cultural values, and strengthen communities across diverse social and urban contexts. We hope today's discussion will inspire meaningful dialogue, broaden our perspective, and deepen our understanding of architecture evolving in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin the official ceremony, we will now sing the national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, followed by the Universitas Islam Indonesia hymn. May I kindly invite everyone to rise. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, right now we shall now proceed to the opening speeches. It is our honor to invite Dr. Architect Yulianto Purwono Prihatmaji, STMT EPMIAI, as the head of the Professional Architecture Program, to deliver his welcoming remarks. We respectfully invite you to the podium.
Request Professor Arsitek Rafiq Azam from Bangladesh, Arsitek Rebecca Vanessa Relosa from Philippines, Arsitek Zanat Cui from Bangladesh also, and Arsitek Alan Cheng from Hong Kong. And also our house in here, Arsitek Jarwo Prasetyo Sehandoko, as a Secretary of Department of Architecture, Universitas Islam Indonesia, Secretary of Professional Architect Education, Agus Setiawan, Chairman, Indonesian Architect of Indonesia, Chapter Yogyakarta, Arsitek Erlangga Winoto, and also all of participants in this morning. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Praise due to Allah Subhanahu wa taala that all of his giving for today, Iman, Islam and Ihsan, so we can gather in here with the best condition to celebrate and also to make some kind of the event of Architect Talk. Architect Talk is periodically event hosted by Department of Architecture, Universitas Islam Indonesia. So we held twice per year to celebrate also welcoming all of our students. Universitas Islam Indonesia has three kind of the study program. The one is undergraduate program, bachelor degree, professional education architect or PPAR, and also Master of Architecture. Alhamdulillah, in this series, we get the 24th series. So it's been more than 10 years we hold the Architect Talk. And today, we have the excellent presenter, excellent guest lecturer from Philippines, from Hong Kong, and also both of them from Bangladesh. We hope that our event, they can share, and also we can learn, enjoy what kind of the work and experience from the Asian architect. And finally, thank you again for all of committee, supporter, and also sponsor for this kind of the great event, Architect Talk, Universitas Islam Indonesia. Let's learn, enjoy, and share together. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
IAI as the chair of the Indonesian Institute of Architects Yogyakarta chapter to deliver his opening address. We respectfully invite you to the podium.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahilladzi fa'alafa baina qulubina fa'asbana binimati ikhwana. Asyhadu alla ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yaumiddin. Amma ba'du. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Good morning everyone. Yang kami hormati Bapak Arsitek Dr. Yulianto Priatmaji IAI, Kaprodi Program Profesi Arsitek. Yang kami hormati Bapak Dr. Arsitek Jarwo Prasetyo Sihandoko IAI, Sekretaris Prodi Arsitektur. Yang kami hormati Bapak Arsitek Agustiawan M.Arts IAI, Sekretaris Program Profesi Arsitek. Para calon arsitek, mahasiswa PPAR, Magister dan Sarjana Arsitektur Universitas Islam Indonesia, rekan sejawat hadirin sekalian, a special warm welcome to our distinguished international speaker, Profesor Arsitek Rafiq Azam, and Arsitek Zana Jui from Bangladesh, Arsitek Rebecca Vanessa Relosa from Philippines, Arsitek Alan Chung from Hong Kong. Thank you for your valuable time, expertise, and international perspectives. Your presence is truly honor and an inspiration for all of us. Tema kita pada pagi hari ini adalah Arsitektur Beyond Building, Shaping Identity, Culture, and Communities. Ini sejalan dengan tema besar rangkaian acara Mantra Expo 2, Designing for Communities, dan juga program Soko Sekar, Satu Kampung, Satu Arsitek, IAI DIY. Bapak Ibu rekan sejawat, selama ini sebagai arsitek di kampus kita belajar paling tidak ada 3 kemampuan secara bersamaan. Untuk menjadi arsitek, ini merupakan profesi yang spesial karena kita mempelajari paling tidak ada 3 unsur untuk memenuhi kompetensi sebagai seorang arsitek. Yang pertama, terkait kemampuan kognitif. Kita dibekali dengan ilmu bagaimana berpraktek menjadi arsitek yang benar. Kemudian yang kedua, kita juga dibekali kemampuan untuk melakukan banyak aktivitas-aktivitas yang menuntut intelijensia terkait dengan psikomotorik. Kita mensketsa, kita menggambar, mengoperasikan tools-tools, software-software yang ada di program studi arsitek. Dan yang terakhir, kemampuan afektif, kemampuan berbicara, kemampuan bertanya. Dan ini yang menjadi kunci bahwa untuk menjadi arsitek ada satu hal penting yang mungkin selama ini kita lupakan. Kita terlalu banyak berbicara, kita terlalu banyak melakukan asesmen terhadap data-data yang kita punya dan mengimplementasikan ke dalam desain. Tapi sering kita lupa untuk mendengar. Nah, di pagi hingga siang hari nanti, dan secara garis besar tema kita adalah bagaimana arsitek perlu waktu banyak untuk mendengar. Agar kita tahu apa yang kita desain, apa yang kita hadirkan kepada klien, kepada masyarakat, itu benar-benar bisa dimanfaatkan oleh mereka. Jangan sampai karya yang kita bikin, karya yang kita buat hanya menjadi pajangan, hanya menjadi satu benda mati yang tidak mempunyai ruh. Semoga ini juga apa yang disampaikan oleh para pembicara internasional menginspirasi kita semua, dan tentu semakin mengokohkan, semakin meningkatkan optimisme teman-teman di program PPAR UII, Magister dan Sarjana, bahwa untuk menjadi arsitek kita masih perlu banyak perjuangan. Semoga ini juga menjadi bagian ibadah kita kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Karena sejatinya hidup ini adalah mengimplementasikan tugas mulia kita, yaitu beribadah kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Semoga talk pada pagi hingga siang hari nanti berjalan lancar dan kita banyak mendapatkan ilmu dari para speaker internasional. Sekian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We shall now proceed with the presentation of tokens appreciations to our distinguished speakers, followed by a group photograph. That appreciation is being given by the EIE and also the Department of the Architecture. May I kindly invite the organizing committee to assist with the presentation and documentation of this session. Give applause, everyone. Second, architect Rebecca Vanessa D. L. Relosa from the Philippines. Please come to the podium. Third, architect Zanat Jui from Bangladesh. Please come to the stage. Last but not least, architect Alan Chong from Hong Kong. Please come to the stage. We would also like to respectfully invite architect Agustiawan M.Arch GP to moderate today's presentation, panel discussion, and question and answer session. Without further ado, we respectfully invite our distinguished speakers and moderator to take the stage.
Okay, thank you. First of all, we have to warm this situation. We have to give big applause for today's. Better architect for tomorrow. I think without waiting further, we have four speakers here. Number one is Professor Rafiq Azam, with have many international recognition. I don't have to read again. Maybe it's 1 hour is not enough to read. Thank you to join this meeting, and also architect Zanajui. Maybe for detail, she will explain the presentation. And also from Hong Kong, Alan, thank you to joining us in this season, and also Becca, absolutely. Welcome to UII, and also we will hear from the inspiring presentation from all the speakers. I think we can start from now. Number one is maybe from our distinguished speaker from Mr. Rafiq, and then it's not must be ladies first, right? Yes. But after Rafiq can continue by Alan maybe. And after Alan, and also Zanat can give some insight, and also Rebecca in the last. But we will listening in the long time. But yes, because we have to tie the time and we have to manage the time. Maybe if you don't mind, for each speaker is only 20 to 25 minutes, maybe for the inspiring. Yes, we just make it slow. But if you need some coffee, maybe, or snack, you can just enjoy and relax this kind of discussion, student, and without any decrease some beneficial from the exam. I think we can start from Rafiq Azam. Yeah, can you help Nur? Yeah, already. Yeah.
So if I have, I can change. Can I change my slides? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. At the outset, I don't know how to express my gratitude and my love to all of you. Of course, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, uh, we are also from Muslim country, and I really appreciate architecture department, University Islam Indonesia, for inviting us. This is a great pleasure and honor for us. So I'll go quickly, sort of small journey. Like I wanted to be a painter at the age of 7. I don't know why. I don't know. I wanted to be a painter, and I started doing drawings and watercolor painting. So one of my lovely subject is boat. From Bangladesh, it's a water-based country, so it's boat. So I used to do a lot of boat drawings. How to work this one? Yeah. There? Red or okay. Top one. Next. Okay. So, again it's gone back. No, it's not working. So let's, little bit noisy, but I'll say next. Okay, so next. Yeah, next. Okay, so you can see this one of my watercolor paintings that I used to do, I love to do, and I never wanted to be an architect. Actually, it's my father who pushed me to not to be an artist. Next. Next. Yeah, in 1976, I was only 13 years of old, and I received one of the world's top class award, which called Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Gold Medal. And then my father came to know that I wanted to be an artist, and he says, no, you need to something to be else than artist. So I was looking for what is the closest possible subject, and somebody told me that architecture is something which is bit of close of like you can continue artistic journey. So that's why I chose architecture. Next. Next. Yes. But basically, when I entered into department architecture, I became a very poor student, and I actually learned architecture from my mother. If you see the next slide, I born and brought up in old part of Dhaka. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is the alley where I born and brought up, and you can see one of my sketches in old part of Dhaka. And I tried to be a good student at the Department of Architecture, but one of my teachers in second grade, sophomore, second year, he told me that I can't grade you, looking at my drawings and subjects and my concept. He says, I can't grade you, you are below the failing grade. So, and third year, similarly things are happening, and by the time my father, he died, he passed away, and I left architecture, and I went to Institute of Fine Arts. But my mother called me back and telling me that we need to dismantle the old house, which is lacking in the monsoon, and we need to dismantle because we have 9 siblings. 9 siblings, there's no rooms much, so we need to build a 2-story house. And she gave me, next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide, yes. So this was the house where we're staying, a very old house, 100 years old house, with a beautiful courtyard and a beautiful small garden that my parents used to do together, and they're fighting each other, but which plants should be planted, how the plants will be watering and things like that. They're always fighting each other with the plants. So it's a very interesting memory we had. And then need to dismantle the house. And my mother told me that you have to design. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm a poor student and I left architecture for the fine arts. I cannot design. So we went to an architect and he designed for us. And looking at the design with all 9 siblings and my mother together, looking at the design, my mother told us that I don't see my courtyard anymore in the design. It's only rooms, and I don't see my garden over there. I lost my husband. Now I can see I'm going to lose all my memories also. So then everybody, my family member told me that you have to do it because I know the memories of ours. I know the courtyard, I know the garden, so I had to do that. But the condition was very peculiar at the time, 1986. My mother told me that you have to design it, but my court, I want to stay upper story, the second level of the house, and I want my courtyard and my garden, the second level of the house. How can I create a garden, second level of the house, you know? I can put some pot plants only. But she said, I don't know, I want my proper garden in the second level of the house. You are an architect. I said, I'm not an architect. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. So this is the house I designed, the courtyard and the middle 3 and the front is the garden. Next. So this is the garden on the second level of the house. It's a field of earth, bigger tray and the earth detailing of all the dam proofing and everything. And large trees came out, and this is the courtyard in the middle of the house, all at the second level of the house. And this is 1988. Next slide, please. Next slide. So you can see 1988, there's a big tree coming up in the garden. And this is the history, the first above the garden, the garden came up in the history of Bangladesh. And then gradually I became one of the 50 planet architects who are responsible for greening the whole world. We are very few architects in the world, so I am one of them. Next. So that became my bad habit gradually, you know. After the 2003, you can see a lot of greeneries coming up above the ground and big trees like 30, 40 feet tall trees. Next. Next. And these are the trees and the swimming pond. We don't say swimming pool because Bangladesh is full of swimming ponds. This is one of the swimming ponds and the steps into the water and big trees coming up. So this is a new Bangladeshi sort of architectural language developed long back. Now young architects are very much following this. Next. Next slide, please. Actually, how I learned all these things. Bangladesh is one of the largest delta on earth, the largest delta on earth, you know. And it receives a huge amount of water from Himalayas through Ganges Plain and Brahmaputra Plain. And it comes to, ends up in the Bay of Bengal. You can see the lower part is the Bay of Bengal. And the next slide, please. So you can see the amount of water coming from the Himalayas through Bangladesh to Bay of Bengal. The size of the area is actually more than 2 million square kilometer area, whereas Bangladesh is only 148,000 square kilometer area, 148,000, but it's receiving almost like 2 millions of, more than 2 millions of area square meter. So it's almost like 14 times of Bangladesh, the water is coming through Bangladesh to Bay of Bengal. So if, next slide please. So this is how you know when water comes, it's mostly inundated. Next you can see, next slide please. Next slide. So I used to say Bangladesh, we don't have land actually. We don't have land. We have just water. Huge amount of water. So we did the mistake of considering we have a land, and then we built roads and highways and elevated expressways and metro rail, and then we are now suffering. Every time Bangladesh flooded, cities flooded, and we don't know where to take the water. But interestingly, if you see, Bangladesh is actually one of the beautiful countries in the world, having 6 seasons. Not country in the world, any country like Bangladesh. No 6 seasons, only Bangladesh having 6 seasons. And monsoon comes, is inundate 2/3 of the country's land. depicting water as the major element of landscape. But when monsoon recedes, water recedes. Next slide. You see the alluvial soil started coming back, the gradually elevated, very fertile land coming back. Next slide, please. And it turns into absolutely same land, turns into large patches of paddy fields. And next slide, if you see, it dances, and then the wind comes, it dancing with the winds, So it's the most beautiful country in the world and changing continuously landscape, and we celebrate the landscape. Next. So that's the reason I do lot of building which is full of green and water, which is very much connected with our landscape, and every floor is ground floor. So I started developing the ideology that if we go the second level, third or 40th level or 50th level, wherever you send me, I'll go, but I'll not go without my belongings. Give me my greeneries, give me my water bodies, give me birds and butterflies and trees, and I'll go up and up and up. But without that, I'll not go. This is unfair, So if you see the next slide, this is the 4th level of a house, but it's it's like a forest. Bangladeshi, untamed, unmanaged forest. This is what we have actually. So next slide. So this is the house. You can see every layer is having its own garden. Next. And you can see the other levels. Going below the ground is having the garden, and other levels is having the garden, and it's connected through the wind comes and go through. Next. Next slide. So this is the 3rd level of the house. Immediately after the rain, it's a beautiful environment created. Next. So it's all about celebration. I was more interested in philosophy, our philosophers, what they're talking about life, and sort of I can connect architecture. So this 18th century philosopher, he says body is a cage, and the whole thinking is just coming into your body and going out of it. It's like a negotiation between body and mind. So why not architecture is similar? Next slide, please. You can see you can create a space like that. The sun comes and goes out of it. The rain comes and goes out of it. And the wind comes and goes out of it. So this is a direction. Wind never comes from the, in our country, from the east, northern side basically. It's coming from the south, southeast and southwest. So you have to open up southeast, southwest. You have to open up the ceiling also to allow the sun to come inside and the rain come inside. So in the evening it changes, completely. So it's continuously changing. So architecture is like a body, and it's a cage, and then whole Mother Nature is acting like a mind and coming and negotiating with the building. Next. So this is how how sun comes. In your country probably sun is going to the northern side and our southern side. In our country, northern side sun is not possible because we are 24.5 degree latitude. So this is how the wind and sun is movement. So we are calculating all these things to create the poetry of philosophical understanding. Next. So this is the house, and of course with the boat, because Bangladesh is over water, so why not the boat is coming inside house. Next. Next. These are all plants. Next. Yes. Next. Next. Just see some of the how we deal with the things. Next. 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 So again, architecture can turn into watercolor. Next. So this is something like very close to watercolor painting. But the most important thing I want to discuss here. Next slide. Trust and respect. Last for trust and respect. When I born and brought up in old part of Dhaka, I used to see in front of the house, you can see this like we call it a plinth, a mare, we call it mare. In Kolkata or some other places called Otla, and there are some names, but basically it's an open space. Can you keep it just a little bit? Open space where the house owner actually trusting the other people, and we are all sitting there, children sitting there, old people, there is a bench also. So that means the house owner actually trusting and respecting other people and allowing to sit them over there, and we used to sit and to see how the people are moving on, honking, selling something, and the rickshaw is moving on, ting ting, and then the light is coming and changing continuously. So like a theatrical space, like a stage of theater, and everything is happening and we're all watching. So this connection is actually based on trust and respect. But later what happened, we civilized, and then we put high wall, boundary wall, and then we say people, we don't trust you or don't respect you, you know, and be aware of my dog and things like that. So that means we are actually destroying the relationship between people to people. So next slide, please. And then I thought, like a Jalaluddin Rumi is a very 12th century philosopher, writer, poet. He says, yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, I'm changing myself. So we wanted to change ourselves first before we change the whole world. So next slide, you can see that we started designing long back in 2000, to 26 years back. I designed this boundary wall. It's like a sitting bench. The plants, the birds can come, butterfly can come, children can come, people can sit over there. So it's a meeting place for the people rather than a wall telling people, I don't trust you, I don't respect you. This is all about respect and trust. Next slide. And then you can see how we invite the birds and they're sitting benches over there. So birds are also coming. Next. So this is the glass boundary wall. When I decided to put a wall as a glass, so that means when the wall is tough, big, and concrete and things like that, then our relationship between people to people is very weak, fragile. But when the glass boundary wall, the wall is itself fragile and vulnerable, but you can see inside, the garden inside, that means you are connected very much. Wall is fragile, weak, our relationship is strong. Next. So this is another project. You can see the garden inside and outside, people can see. Next. So what we did actually in Bhutan, this project is completed in Bhutan, Bangladesh High Commission, Chancery Building. I don't know how many Chancery Building is having glass boundary wall. Everybody is putting like camera and gun sort of, security system. That's the Chancery Building, Embassy Building. But here you can see the people standing, they can see through the glass wall, through the large, public window, social window. There's a nice water body and the Himalayas, they can see. So all landscape is connected. So this building is actually for the people, not only for the diplomats. Next slide. Next slide. And you see the whole Himalayan water basically coming through India, southern side, all the water is ending up in Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is the last recipient of the Himalayan water in the Bay of Bengal, and Bhutan belongs to, Himalaya belongs to Bhutan. But the end water belongs to Bangladesh. So what we have designed, next slide please. And we have also interestingly the Buddhist monasteries, which is like 3 BC, like almost 2,500 years old Buddhist monasteries. We have hundreds of monasteries, and that's why Bhutan actually received the Buddhism, the way, Vajrayana, that is actually gone from Bangladesh to Bhutan via Tibet. So Bhutanese people love Bangladeshi people because they thought it's a gift from Bangladesh they received. So this is how we are connected for many, many thousands of years, Bhutan and Bangladesh, in terms of water, in terms of religion, we are very much connected. Next. And this is, you can see the person who is very important, Atish Dipankar. He actually transformed the religion and sent it to Bhutan. Next. And we studied all the, they have temperature 17.7 degrees Celsius in the summer, which is like a winter for us. And they have a huge amount of rain. And all calculations we have done. Next, you see. Next. And we calculate the movement of the sun and inclination of the sun, because there's a winter, very cold winter, but the summer is very good. So winter sun must be taken inside the home, inside, so we can make it warm, and no air condition required much. Less air condition and electricity consumption is reduced. Next. So these are the all calculations. Next. And this is calculation. All the water going to the Thimphu river, Thimphu Chu. Next. And the visual, the view to the Himalayas. Next. So this is but the most importantly, we didn't design anything like out of Bhutan, because Bhutan is economy is based on tourism, and they cannot build something like different, like a modern glass building. But we could. We have a law something, but we didn't do. We do something similar to them, so the landscape is not disturbed. Next. And you can see from the street, the puncture and the Himalayas, the view is not hindered. Next. Next. And the whole landscape is retained properly. Next. And you can see how, so all the Himalayan water coming to Bangladesh to the Bay of Bengal. So you can see now the Bay of Bengal has been created in a way that now Himalaya and Bay of Bengal meeting each other. So the first time in the history, millions of years, like 40 millions of years is moving on, they never saw each other. So as an architect, we created Bay of Bengal, so now they can see each other, and reflection you can see on the water is becoming into one. So that's the diplomatic relation rather than political relation. We say it's a sacred relationship. Next. 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 So this is simply, people think Bangladesh is not a very educated country, but historically Bangladesh is one of the richest enlightened country in the world, like Greek, Rome. At the time Bangladesh was equally very, very enlightened. People used to come to Bangladesh all over the world to learn Buddhism, because we have hundreds of Buddhist universities. So our school, Aga Khan school, is now connected to the Buddhist, the first history of education. So thousands years of old history of education to now, you can see next slide. So next slide please. So this is the historic 8th century, one of the universities in our country, which is not functioning now, definitely is archaeological site. But next slide you can see, next slide please. You can see the courtyard coming back with the brick and the archaeological senses, which is the history of Bangladesh of education is great. We want to connect and tell people, tell the people of the world that Bangladesh is one of the enlightened countries was there. Next. So this is the plan of the historic thousands of years old Buddhist monasteries, and this is the archaeological site. Next. And this is our plan with the sort of plan, model with the earth. Next. Soil model. So this is some of the slide. Next. So next. 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 Yeah. So this is in Malaysia. Next. This is the first building, I think, in Malaysia, green building certified. Next. Is all the water actually collected from the rain. Next. Lot of calculation we did. Next. Next. Please. So I came back to the root actually. This I'll discuss the last project. I think how long I took? It's 5 minutes. Okay. So last project. I came back old Dhaka again because I thought I am doing other projects, other part of the world also. So I thought I'm serving other people all over the world, but not serving my own community. So I was feeling very sad. So this is one of my watercolor painting. I look at the old Dhaka, like old person. I am going to be old very soon, like this probably. So, but nothing doing. So let's go back home. Next, back to the root. So this is the same alley you can see. I came back and next. So I started my own small two-bedroom apartment where students used to come. There are a lot of scholarships in my name in different parts of the world. They're coming and staying here. It's the 6th level of the house, like my mom's house, remembering my mother. She died 2016. So this is the garden again coming back as a courtyard. Next. So this is the garden in the memory of my mother, my sitting place. I used to go there with my wife also sometime and spend time. And this is the garden, and you can connect it to this is a pavilion. So 1988, 2026, still my journey going on. Next. So I'll pass this one. Just go, please. Please go. It's also an old photograph. Next. This is the new photograph after correction. Next, you go just quickly. You can go. I'll tell you. Next. 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 Yeah. Okay. This is the last project I'll be speaking on. Next, please. Scarcity to abundance. There is a small park. We did lot of parks, public places in old Dhaka, small and big, in medium, whatever sizes, pocket size. This is one of the pocket park actually. If you want to go to the park, this is the only way you to go to the park. Very narrow alley, which is 1 meter wide probably, and in monsoon is flooded, is very dirty. Next. And this is the park area. There is a boundary wall to protect the park. But it failed to protect the park, but all the unlicensed shops coming, and there is only one drain. The drainage system is extremely poor. Next. And that is one shower is completely flooded. We say rain is a pain, water is a disaster. Whereas water should be the life and rain should be celebrated, is all other way. So it's and the girl is actually, she is going to school after all the devastated situation. There, the girl is trying to be having a good life after a good education, but we all ensured that she is not going to a good life. All the administrator, politician, architects, engineers, planners, all together ensured this girl or the girls or the boys will not be a good life in future, because all we had said drawing salaries and things, but not performing our job. Next, you see inside the park. This is absolutely lousy and very dangerous, selling drugs, only having some good trees, and there is an old building we wanted to renovate. Next. So problem, there's nothing more artistic than to love people, Van Gogh says. Anyway, next. Then we started talking to the people actually, what's their requirement, why they're angry, why they're frustrated, and old people, young generation. Next. And you have a lot of meetings actually with them. And next, cutting down this story short, we found that if you can capture the water, we calculate the water, the rainwater comes into Bangladesh, in Dhaka, not less than like 200 millimeter, sometimes 100, 180 millimeter, 150 and 200. It can go 300 millimeter, but we calculated 200 millimeter rain we'll calculate, we'll catch. So we can have 450,000 liters 1 day rain. And the whole community required in 1 day probably 25,000 to 30,000 liters of water. And they're out of drinking water. They don't have drinking water. So we can convert this, collect the rainwater and convert through the system to drinking water. Both the problems solved. The water is gone, no waterborne disease coming to the children, and the life is not devastated, and they're having drinkable waters simultaneously. So we did a trench all over walking area is a trench. Top you can walk, and then we dismantle the front wall, because this is a symbol of disrespect and distrust, as I told you earlier. So open it up and tell people it's yours, and there's no water problem. And next slide you can see it's completely open. And people is coming 2 o'clock in the morning, and whatever they time, no bar actually there, you know. So and it's always like green and no water. So after the rain, you see all the water gone below the walkway, all collected, and it will be just treated through the filter and will be given back free as a gift from the park to the community. Next. It was like this earlier. Nobody's coming. It's like rainwater and mosquito and everything. Now it's converted into this. So abandon actually turned into abundance. And then it was done by the local children. Next slide you can see. This all planted by the children, and all small fruits, you know, they can pluck, they can eat. They have iron problem and vitamin C, vitamin B, all the things coming up, and the birds are coming. So we develop a philosophy that the children will run after butterflies, not drugs, you know. So this is happening. Now you can see they're having their own every weekend programs. A beautiful program done by the local people. Next. And now the whole area is very impoverished, very poor actually there. But now increase their rent of the house 25%. So the people, the income generation increased little bit. Next. And this was my original drawing. I was at the beginning. Next. So I'm so lucky I am able to see this happen in my life. Next. And this is what you can see now. The children are really, really happy to play. And yes, this is amazing view. A lot of trees planted and old trees kept. So it's completely converted. And the building has been converted because it was a political party office. Very powerful actually. Actually I was hiding, police was rescuing me, I was threatened to kill. So a lot of things happened in my life last 11 years. So this is one of the examples. It's not that easy. Next. So you can see this was a political party office. We pushed them out seriously. We had a fight with them. And finally we took over the building, and then we converted building into public social library, the community library, gymnasium, women's club, and a weekend school. So you can see children are coming and enjoying. You can see the water is free. For last 8 years, they're drinking water without any problem. In summer, in monsoon and winter, anytime they are getting water, which is impossible in Bangladesh, some of the places, most of the places basically. So these are all calculations, SDG goals. Next. Next. And this is what we call Old Dhaka new story, Old Dhaka new twilight. So this is doesn't look like that old Sevi area now. And the last slide is something like, I think how our job actually, anybody is like professor or engineer or politician or businessman, the only one common thing among us is to ensure our children grow, they are growing happily and safely. That we want to ensure, everybody actually, So probably we are trying to do so. And my philosophy and my dream, one day I want to do so, something like let's make the giggling of the children a music for our community. We want to listen the giggling of our children all around, and we feel like they are safe, we are safe. Thank you very much.
This is very amazing presentation. Okay, good morning. I'm Alan from Hong Kong. So of course today's topic is about architecture beyond buildings. So yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, cool. So this is, okay, that's good. So I'm trying to talk about less on architecture. I guess you guys gradually stepping into a professional field. Of course, architecture is your main job. But today, after Professor, you see, apart from architecture, there's a lot of interesting project you can work with the community, how we can giggling the music for the children in the future. I mean, that's very important. So today I want to take this opportunity, of course, respond to the topic, sharing identity, culture, and community in Hong Kong. Let's see whether I can inspire you guys. All right, so that's Hong Kong. Any one of the students have been to Hong Kong? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Gonna wait for you in Hong Kong. Is it some who came to Hong Kong before? No. Okay. Next time. Okay. Professor is gonna arrange for you to Hong Kong. Right. So Hong Kong is like this. Very dense, skyscrapers, not much space. So it's very typical scenes in Hong Kong. So, but maybe before I share my projects, I wanna share why I take architecture as a career. Ask yourself why you take architecture as your career, why you're here to study architecture. My thought is very simple. This is one of the iconic buildings in Hong Kong. It's Bank of China. Very simple. When I was still secondary school, high school, I was walking on the street thinking, okay, one day if I can build something like this, I'm going to be amazing. I can tell my friends, my parents, this is the building that I built. That's very simple. No philosophy, not something high, just want to build something for our city. So that's something when I was young. So I determined to be an architect. So I'm going to share a bit about my journey as a traditional architect first. Don't count the years. So this is how I studied bachelor. So you can guess my age. Right? I'm quite old. All right, so I studied in Chinese University of Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong, we have, so far, I would say main two universities have proper architecture degrees. There are others as well. So I studied architecture, bachelor, master in Hong Kong, like this. And I look the same. Okay, almost. How many years ago? Okay, I'm still keeping pretty good, all right? So, but in my school, apart from architecture, I do something else. I dance, hip hop, just fun, soccer. So, apart from architecture, what are you doing? Just only architecture or others? So, you have to be more diversified. Okay, so this is when I was taking a soccer team in the school. All right, this is my thesis. This is about culture and architecture. Because in Hong Kong, we have limited land. So my thesis about revitalization of the city, but using secondary culture, that means hip-hop. How we can use hip-hop to transform the urban environment through urban revitalization. So how I relate dance with the architecture, make it more fun. All right, so then after I graduated in Hong Kong, luckily I went to London and New York to work for companies there. So I learned simultaneously London and New York is very different from Hong Kong. Or I would say slightly similar, or also cosmopolitan, busy cities, and you can see London and New York at the same time. I mean, it's eyes open for me as an architecture graduate. So I got a chance to design, I would say, big master plan in London, Battersea Power Station. It's just opened recent years, and then some projects in Dubai, because in Middle East, that time was booming. And this is Battersea Power Station. Next time we have chance to go to London, it's a master plan, it's an amazing project, but I've done it like 20 years ago. So it's how it looks like in the old days, and then now it's like this. So it's a luxurious shopping mall with crazy expensive housing around, but this is interesting spaces, especially for the public spaces. So every community can enjoy it. But architecture life is crazy. How many like sleepless nights you have for your 5-year studies? Okay, even your working in real life is like this, 4 a.m. in New York. So this is how I experience. Even I work in foreign countries, supposed to be a bit free, but then it's not 4 a.m. in the morning. So every time when I was in New York, it's like this. All right, so after I kind of came back to Hong Kong, I then worked on a small companies and then got registered. So became a licensed architect. And this is kind of the project that I was working in Hong Kong, like infrastructure, like pier, we have harbors in Hong Kong, some kind of interior projects as the post office entire revamp. And then I joined a bigger companies. Then make something change in my mind. It's like this is company headquartered in UK, but they got a big office in Hong Kong. What I was doing, big projects in China. So it's a master plan, and then with the park, if the buildings, kind of surface apartment, hotels, shopping malls, mixed use development. Is it good? Okay, next one. This one in Hangzhou, another big project. So we are doing the master plan, the retail part, these 2 towers by Norman Foster, and then some other Australian companies that we work together. Another one is in Tianjin, all commercial, all mixed use development. Okay. Then by the time I question myself, how are you working with the community? To be honest, for this kind of project, you don't see the community because the client, they will just get rid of the whole community because of these big projects. So I'm asking myself, are we doing something good to yourself, to individual, to the space around, to the community, to the city? So that's something I question. So I started something slightly different. So from the original journey as a traditional architect, I'm starting to go to an unexpected journey. So then we started our company called One by Design Studio. Why is One by? We want everyone to taste the designs, just one by at a time. All right, so we started design and also a social arm, it's a charity organization, and then we started office in Singapore, 2018. And not sure whether you know this B Corp. Look for this later on. So B Corp is a global certification looking at ESG, environment, social, and governance. It's a very difficult certification. As an architect company, we can get it. So we only one in Hong Kong, architecture design company, they get B Corp. And then we have S88, it's like a charity organization, and then we also start office in UK right now. So this is a journey. So we don't know what's going on. So then when we started, okay, One By is an interdisciplinary architecture design office. Not only architecture, but multidisciplinary. We started 2015, so now it's 11 years old. So we have started like this. In Hong Kong, it's difficult for young architects to design architecture. So we started with exhibition, with competition, with food, archi cookies. How we can talk architecture to the general public with food, with cookies symbolizing Hong Kong architecture. Then we start communicating with them. And this one is a competition, the Serpentine Pavilion in London. We won a competition by doing dessert. So dessert with Zaha Hadid's building, Toyo Ito's building. So this is something make it more fun, but at the same time, you can discuss with the community. So then our motto is how we interconnecting people and make better places. So this is our kind of strategies. So we always look into design, and then we also have a research team, and then also social part as a charity organization to push social innovation in the city. So in Hong Kong, apart from myself as a co-founder, Sarah, also another co-founder, and then we have around 40 colleagues in Hong Kong. So apart from architects, designers, we also have community analysts, we have placemaker, we have data strategists. So quite a diverse of colleagues that we can have more broad projects in Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong, we have completed over 400 projects, not architecture only, but there's public spaces, exhibition, interior, so quite a diverse scope of works that we completed in Hong Kong. So it's just a quick glimpse of what we're doing, right? Park, of architecture, exhibition, product, interior, exhibition, how we work with community, urban analysis, and also research, with public magazine as well. This is quite a diverse kind of project that, as an architect, we can go beyond buildings. Okay, so architecture beyond buildings. So today I want to share this word. When you do architecture beyond buildings, so everyone counts. That means community, as Professor Rafi said, everyone is important. So everyone counts. So I want to share the whole process, or how you learn from the community and we build as architects with the community, the connection between them. Imagine when you do a project, maybe you seldom talk to the community. Once you finish, then you will go. But can you enhance this? Can you rebuild the connection between yourself and the community? All right, so just a bit of academia, all right? Okay, when we talk about working with the community, how we can build the sense of place, the sense of belongings. So this is like Austin from America. It's a matter of citizen participation. So usually when we do projects, we only in this stage. We just inform the community, okay, I'm going to do something here. That's it. A bit more advanced, you may ask them, consult them, whether you have opinions, comments, okay, we'll go back. That's it. But more sophisticated, when you go up to the citizen participation, co-create with them, work together, co-design with them, or co-build with them. Eventually, the ultimate, can the community host the space? Is co-host. So this is a matter of citizen participation. You can keep it in mind later on when you do a project in your professional career. Okay, just a quick run through for what we've been doing. Right, we work with school students to transform the spaces in the school, but we are not the one who decide where the space are. It's they told us, I want to design the space, and then we help them together through engagement workshops, and then even we finish the design and let them comment. It's like, this is ultimate how people students, they love the space and play around it. Not only children, how about elderly? So we work with the elderly. This is the project about walking football. Have you heard about walking football? That means you cannot run. If you run, your right foot will be your foul. You cannot kick the ball over 6 foot. Then you will foul. So it's for elderly. It's for over 50 years old elderly. So this is one of the famous soccer players in Hong Kong. So they work with us and then to tell us, okay, if I want to build a walking football facility, how can you do it? So if we engage one-to-one prototype, so it's not one-off, it's like a few times of workshop. So we can listen to what actually they need. If because we're young, we don't know what the elderly thinks, right? So we work together. This is the ultimate projects. It's also on the rooftop. I'm going to share a bit of rooftop projects. So one insight that they share with us is, this is quite old for the elderly, so all they will bring their grandchildren to come. So they can play football here, and then the grandchildren, they stay here. So because of the fence, so they keep themselves safe. So I mean, as a designer, we never thought about it. Okay, we just build a walking football for them, that's it. But they will think about their grandchildren. So something's out of our expectation during the workshops. Of course, we also work with disability people or elderly for their room. One very interesting fact is, for example, when you build a flat, we immediately draw the 2 doors, right? One to kitchen and one to the toilet. But the elderly told us, okay, I just live by myself, so I need 2 doors? Maybe not, just 1 door. When I go to the kitchen, I can slide it because of the smoke coming out. When I go to the toilet, I will just slice it. Imagine this, I mean, as a designer, we don't think this way, right? 2 rooms, 2 doors, that makes sense, but then they tell us, you don't have to do this. So, I mean, this is very interesting kind of conversation when we understand what actually people think about it. So that eventually, this is the outcome, so it's only 1 sliding doors. So we brought this elderly back to this home to see, and then immediately they said, okay, this is my design, not yours. I told you it's sliding doors. Okay, apart from this, we've also been doing a lot of engagement exercise using urban data. So open data Hong Kong is getting more open. We're not so sure whether Indonesia have sophisticated open data. So when we talk to people, of course, it's an engagement process. It's more qualitative, but if you can make use of open data on a quantitative side, so you can combine this element to design a better spaces for people. Of course, this is something, the visualization that we did through the process. This process is very interesting. We work with architects. We work with landscape architects. So what is our role? We are public space designer. We are placemaker. So that's something at the new role in Hong Kong is happening. We can join hands with architects and also landscape architects. Then we also go out to the public spaces, and then we train the children, we train the elderly to do engagement, to do assessment for us. So, and we eventually come up with a public open space design guidelines, and then we make it fun. You know, this is Jenga, right? So using Jenga to teach you how to design public open space. Not only designers, everyone can use this to kind of play around. So that's message like how we can really engage different variety of people, empower them, and then make it local, make it relevant to the space. All right, so I'm going to quickly run through, wow, how many minutes? 35. Okay, but not enough. Maybe I'll just quickly run through 1 or 2 projects. So this is about sharing identity. So this is in Hong Kong on the rooftop of public housing estates, very run down like this, typical. So we got a chance to revitalize it into a colorful rooftop playground with identity. So with different message that we brought in, because Hong Kong, we got limited land. We don't have a lot of opportunity to build new architecture. So this is one of the project we put in. So you see this is 5 and 8 when you look at this side. So this is how this estate got built. 1 of 3 projects to bring up the history, to bring up the identity of the locals. You should see, very colorful, very seldom in Hong Kong. And we work with the community. We ask the kindergarten students, draw something with banana because it's smile, and then eventually it put it in this place. The way is how we can build up the sense of place, sense of belongings, so they can protect our projects later on when we leave. Even another project about sports ground, about women, and how we can bring up the women position, women empowerment in sports. Also very colorful here, so you can see. And then we also design something for women, for women to hang your handbags and mirror for doing makeup before you leave the sports ground. So this is something that we bring out this message during our project, and then we also work with teenagers around to build this co-design with us, so they can become the furniture of the projects. So even with urbanized environment, we always ask people for opinion. Like this is the rooftop in Causeway Bay, one of the busiest area in Hong Kong. It's a childhood game in Hong Kong. But how we engage them? It was COVID. So we have this gigantic QR code on the rooftop. So people just turn the window, they scan it. And okay, tell me what you want. So that's the thing, we can make use of the skyscrapers in Hong Kong, all right? So Hong Kong is very, oh, hold on. Okay, can I play this? Can you try to click this? Just to click one for Hong Kong is. Hong Kong is like, whoa, super dense. We have over 7.5 million is, tiny cities. So if have a really high urban population, even crazier than Singapore, Tokyo, and Shanghai. So we have limited land. We can only build 25% of our totally in Hong Kong. So that's why we have very, very limited spaces. That's why we have lots of rooftop projects that coming up in Hong Kong to make use of the underused, underutilized spaces. So this is something that we came up with over the past years. Okay, let me see whether I can talk one more project, that's it. Maybe I skip this. This is about plant, using plant as the medium to engage with the community. But then maybe I skip this first. I got another quick one about another side of Hong Kong. You may not imagine. So this is islands. Of course, Indonesia, we got a lot of islands, Philippines as well. We have quite a number of islands. We have 263 islands in Hong Kong, even we are small. So this is a project where the curator, sorry, it's a Chinese, is a curator for an arts festival related to the villages. So this is Hong Kong, never been, right? So this is the eastern part of Hong Kong. So this is more like a CBD, Central Business District. So it's the eastern side of Hong Kong with islands, with villages, with history. So this is like a 3-year curatorship. So every year we have the 2-month festival period to use art as a medium to talk about the history of the islands. This is how it looks like. We have villages, we have fishbowl, fish, we have temple, church, and also high geological value, kind of very scenery kind of thing. So in this art festival, we put village as the open museum, using art installation, activities, and tours to talk about the history. So this is just number. So 3 years, every year, 2 months. So this is how the artworks look like. We talk about, you use this and then engage with the community and then to talk about their ideas. And then how we translate, we connect with the village. Because in Hong Kong, the village is getting old and then they're disappearing. So how we can use arts festival, this kind of medium to connect them, even the younger generation. Through workshop, through art installation, and even invite the villagers to be the ambassador to help us during the arts festival. So of course, as an architect, as a curator, we always think about how we can make use of spaces, turn spaces into pavilion, turn this underutilized area into something people can gather. This kind of when the basketball court become an interesting installation so people can come safely. Even like there's some houses, it turn into beautiful houses for village together. So as a curator, we can do something like that. Even we relaunched the public transportation by ferry. The ferry was closed down 20 years ago, but because of the arts festival, they resumed, the village can go back to their home. So of course, there are a lot of interesting events happening from camping, from catching the fish, all this kind of activity, but we work closely with the villages. So like this. And then we also have souvenirs, of course, different branding stuff. So this is the video that I want to play, and then we're going to finish. Can we play this? So you can see how the arts festival was going. They have sound as well. Not sure whether we can play the sound. They still have sound, yeah. So you can see there are a lot of artworks here, but each artwork basically embedded with the history, with the context of the village, and then we have a lot of discussions. Even the villagers can make comments to the artists how the artwork can be built. So there are around 30 artworks over the years. some of those that inclusive design and then make use of the underutilized spaces, the mural wall as well. So it's quite a diverse kind of artworks. Also have different activities, workshop together with the artists. And then some other even in the boat. We have DJ in the boat, we have kayaking, we have different kind of art tea workshop, cocktail, and also pet. Pet is also very important. We have busking, all different kind of activities that really embed the traditional culture. Even like lion dance, making good traditional food, and then of course with the artist co-creation workshop, and then kids' toy. So when the old villages, when they were young, they have all different kind of activities that bring it back to this current visitors. So we can experience it, make it inclusive, even nighttime. We have all sort of interested looking at the stars, camping, or fires, and then also performance. So it's quite a diverse kind of activities that's going on in the arts festival. So try to use this as an opportunity to tell visitors, also locals, Hong Kong is beautiful. Hong Kong still have a lot of interesting histories. All right, so this is the end of how we can see all the happy faces in the village. So we try to see whether we can save them. Okay, one last, sorry. So when we go into the community, so you have to be patient. So we always use place making, make a place, as the baking process. So you have to be gentle, light hand. You go to the community, you can't be pushy. Be gentle and then soft to tell what you need, what you want to talk about, and then let them go. Because it takes time, and then eventually they will form by the thing, want to do something on top of this, but softly, and then let them, co-creation may be the key, and then your amazing project will comes up. So we use placemaking as a baking process to talk about how we can really work with the community together. All right, so that's it. So remember, takes one bite at a time. Hopefully we can together change it for a better community. So I got this little thing. So this is the engagement little yellow book. I got a few copies. If you want, interested, come to find me that I will share with you. So little tips how we can engage with the community. All right, so remember everyone counts. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Assalamualaikum. Hope you all are doing great. Yeah. So thank you so much for inviting me here. Universitas Islamic University, Jogja. And I'm very honored and pleased to be here. Thank you, IAI, and my dear friend Desta for having me. So I started my own practice, Janajui Architects, and today I'll be talking about it's not a very long journey, but and not even like our dear friend Alan, but I guess 12 years approx I'm practicing. So speaking of Bangladesh, it's a really beautiful country. If you go out of Dhaka, it's a different landscape. And Dhaka especially is a metropolitan city, is the different thing. So we have rain from Himalayas, a huge amount of rain, and water, and we have huge amount of rain. So together it makes land full of water. So we'll be telling a story which will be actually based on water. So this is one of my project, just located outside of Dhaka. And here you can see the nature is the priority, and the building becomes as basic and as less as possible. So here the main intention was to mix the building with the nature and as less dominant as possible. And the interior and exterior relationships. And the pitch roofs actually helps, to have the rainwater to collect and the ground recharge. And there is also very small water bodies which allows air to pass through. And the night time. Can you play the video? No, in the earlier slide. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, this one. Next, yeah, this one. Sorry, no sound. It's okay. So whereas we were doing, architecture, we have earlier that heroic approach of doing our work and to show that how great we are. But nowadays, I think the approach is a bit shifted. The paradigm shifts, and we actually wanted to be as gentle and humble as possible, and which reacts with the environment, which allows the climate responsive, and to be as generous as possible. So while me and Desta, we were doing our masters in Singapore, so we have learned there from ego to eco, like not doing the egoistic architecture, but become more ecoistic architecture. And it's a very sorry? It's the, vacation house, yeah. And it's a very low cost one. Somehow, most of my clients are less rich. So my practice becomes, mostly becoming using materials which are really low cost and available. So yeah, I'm becoming an architect for less rich people. So Dhaka, it is a super crowded city, overpopulated, and this is our home where you live, and the landscape, and you can see the greeneries and the glass walls. So this is also a new practice which actually my partner, Mr. Rafiq Azam, has introduced in Bangladesh thoroughly. And this is the ground floor. Also, the ground floor concept he has changed because earlier, when the land price is extremely high in Dhaka, and we cannot afford to buy a land and do our own buildings if you're not like super rich. So it's the common culture there to build the housing and buy an apartment and to live there over there. But the practice started with all the parking will be in the ground floor, and it looks like less attractive and not welcoming. So the practice changed to the cars goes below the basement, and the ground floor becomes very inviting, like a living room, like a living space. So this is the ground floor, the entry, and from the second, from the top, and greeneries and water bodies is everywhere, actually, all of our projects, the reception and the nighttime view, and the interior of our apartment. And as me and my husband, we both are architects, and we stay at home very less time is, our daughter said, only for the sleeping time. So our main concern is to do the interior, less maintenance, because the maid over there, they can use the space, and they can clean it by themselves, and not like overly unnecessary element to add in. So it's all time, anywhere come to our house, they'll be seeing it's well, organized, because so less thing over there, nothing much to clean up. So it becomes my practice that becoming as less interior as possible. And I have also put this heavy motored rainwater sort of water body, and from the 10th story, the rooftop, we can have the sound of water, and it added the sense of calm when someone enters to the house. So this is another project of ours. It's also inside Dhaka, and we call it romantic industrialism, because you can see that so much, it's a single house residence, but so much steel structure over there. So I worked over there as an interior designer and associate landscape architect. And again, the approach was very humble, and the outdoor and indoor relationships, we wanted to make it like everywhere in our projects, just because Dhaka is overcrowded and we have very less amount of green. So we try to put green everywhere and anywhere possible. And again, the interior of the house, and where the approach is very light and minimum. So this is another project of ours. It's in this area, there is height restrictions because of the airport. So we cannot go up than 2.5 stories. But here is the interesting part, is the gate. You can see the red colored gate. It's actually a painting by a renowned painter. So the theme was like, if we paint all the gate of our community, then from the street you will have to have the essence of like a gallery, like a moving museum, like a walking museum. So this is how we try to contribute to the society by inviting other professionals into our works, both in exterior and in interior. So it's the landscape of the beneath, though it's a very tiny one, but again you can see greeneries are everywhere, because it's a super, super neat thing for us. We want all the butterflies and birds and insects inside our house. And the sky and the interior and the exterior. This is another project. I did the interior of this project, and the first photo is the basement, and you can see the water light coming to the basement, so not to give the shady or I'm in the basement like feeling. So it's a stall design which I did with their own material. So it was for the ceramic, so name is fresh ceramic. So while doing the design, I was thinking, why not use their own ceramic, their own showing material to the stall, but to use another material. So it's actually the cover of the skin of the pavilion, actually their own material. And we also got People's Choice winner for the stall design. And a few years back, I started running workshops with other professionals. Like usually in Bangladesh, mostly the practice is our architecture school actually have the tendency to teach the students that you have to do the design only, you know. If you want to be an architect, you'll be doing the design and design. But to be an architect, we must have the knowledge about other professions, how the other professionals think, how their philosophy attached with our work, because without relate to other subjects, we cannot just design a single building. To design a single small space, we have to have the knowledge of everything else around us. So I started inviting other professionals like photographer, filmmaker, anthropologist, ideologist, and sometimes architects and fashion, because they always talk about their subject and relate with architecture. So it's now becoming bigger. So my 15th workshop is going on. And not only architecture students, our architecture, young architects, I invite people who are interested to join. So it becomes, again, involving other professionals with architecture. And this is one of the crowded part of Dhaka city. Its name is Mirpur, and it has 5 lakh residents in the single neighborhood, and 1 lakh residents per square kilometer, whereas we can see in Europe's most of the city will have approx maybe 50% per square kilometer, and here is 1 lakh. But unfortunately, here we don't have any single library or art gallery. So that's actually bit frustrating for us that we couldn't able to build the cultural environment for the whole community. So my client came with an apartment building which was heavily used as an industrial garment factory. And as it's an old building, and again my practice becomes for exceptionally, my intention is to do the low cost design or product, or I mean, the thing is, if I can use material low cost, then why I have to use the material expensive? Why not to use the money in some other purpose? So I turned this place into a library for the community. It's a free library for the whole community, and they come and they enjoy the place. In every Friday, Fridays or weekend, kids are coming there. They have a section for the kids, and they listen to the books, and they read the books together. So it becomes a celebration point, whereas earlier they couldn't have, they didn't have any place to go actually to read and to enjoy. And it's the another floor, again the heavy-duty industrial garment factory. And I converted it to an art gallery with very minimum intervention. And many actually art exhibition, textile fair, creative gatherings are happening over there. So it becomes a social gathering place for the whole community, and as it's completely free for the community, so it's like now if someone wants to do the art, an exhibition or gathering, they have to book it earlier. So it becomes very popular space for the whole neighborhood. And yeah, as we are a country of water, so flood is our common phenomena. And we learned how to deal with flood. Like a few years back in Texas, we have experienced that, you know, their flood happens and everybody was devastated, because that's not their regular regular phenomena, and they are not, you know, they know how to deal with it. But we are super experienced dealing with flood or cyclone or this sort of water management system. So for that particular region, this sort of particular design is very popular because it made with very low cost material, wood and board, and they actually when the flood comes, it's by the, there you can see it's by the river, and its name is Padma River, and it's a very powerful, strong river. So when they have the erosion, they actually open up the whole house and put it in the boat, and they just move it somewhere else and again rebuild it. So it's a very common practice over there and very user friendly. So this is the sort of house with the plinth, and it's like very low cost. So other areas, people, they sometimes wants to take the home and build it somewhere, but as the air pressure or the wind flow is very high in the other places, so that's not applicable for the other cities of Dhaka, but for this area. And another thing is, this is called Jamdani Shari. So as you have batik, we have also Jamdani. It's very high quality. The craftsmanship is super delicate, and in Victoria and Albert Museum of London, they also have the Jamdani pattern, the geometric pattern. They have displays in their museum. So these are actually now is becoming because of the modern, the modern people. We want to, wear our own thing now. We become very minimalistic. So it's now becoming disappearing, becoming very less, and the craftsmen, they are also becoming disappearing. So what we did, we made the pattern of the Jamdani and wanted to build an art exhibition, installation in China. So this is how our design is weaving with the local craftsmen. Can you play the video? And we actually doing that Munshiganj house. Can you play the video? And put the Jamdani Shari print on the as the skin of that house. It's not opening. Okay, no problem. And the exhibition is on 19th to 23rd November in Shanghai, and this is how we are representing our art installation with the displacement and the low-cost community people's house, and with the Jamdani as a skin over there. And this is pro bono work for the Lakeside Park. It is just by my side, by our office and house. So yeah, I'm sure that many architects do many pro bono works in your life. And the approach was to make it as less structure as possible, but to give some sort of shadow, keeping the big trees and allowing, putting gravel on the floor and allowing water to do the ground recharge, and feeling, giving a very shaded and maybe a small coffee while you are working. So it's by the lake, and yeah, it's about to build. And I think the most common practice in Bangladesh is like we want to, like earlier when I visited India in Chandigarh, so there was that Le Corbusier's Supreme Court and National Assembly building. So in between that long plaza, there is no single trees, and 52 degrees Celsius, and I was about to faint. Because in extreme, in climate where 52 degrees Celsius is like super hot and humid, and earlier we used to think that these are the heroic architecture we want, but nowadays I think we want architecture as climate responsive, as friendly with the environment, and of course less cost as possible, and which actually made our purpose become a part of nature, rather than have the feeling of that I'm the best, my architecture is the best. Yeah, I think my intention is to go with the very less egoistic way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Really impressive how to press our ego, right? Architecture is how to solve the problem and how to give more beneficial to others, not only about how to see our project regarding architecture. Thank you, Janet.
My teacher had today. Okay. So I first started exploring the use of AI in 2024, and I've given a talk on AI and pedagogy way back 2024. Then just recently, last June, I was invited by the Training Resource Center of the Council of Architecture in Pune, India, to give a 90-minute lecture to professors and lecturers, okay? But for this particular session, sharing session, I decided to condense it for more student-friendly audience, okay? So I would like to ask the students, who among you use AI in any form? Be honest, please raise your hand. Okay? How about our esteemed handsome architects? Who among you use AI? They don't want to say yes. Okay, so at first I was focused on looking on how to use the AI apps, but eventually I realized that can be learned on your own, but what we have to really drive to the students is, how do you use AI responsibly? Okay, and how are you able to maintain architectural thinking in the age of artificial intelligence? So let me share an anecdote, okay? So you would see a map that shows the connection between Manila and Mexico. Yes, if you look at history, there really is a connection because we were both Spanish colonies, and there was what we call the galleon trade. Okay, so even nowadays you would see words that are similar between the two countries, like adobo, champorado, leche, and so on and so forth. Okay, and the reason why I'm showing this is because a design plate in planning 2, wherein they were supposed to tackle an urban design problem, which is of course located in Manila. Then while I was watching the presentation, out of nowhere, there is a line in the presentation that says Mexico. And I was like aghast, because how does Mexico come into play when we are talking about an old market district in Manila? So I just realized that these students heavily relied on AI that they didn't even check what they copy and pasted from ChatGPT. Okay? So I call that the Mexico project. Okay? So I'm going to discuss other cases. Okay? The Mexico project wasn't isolated. Okay, the next we have the market perspective unrelated to site plan, and this is also about that urban planning problem. So the reason why I'm such a stickler for design translation is students tend to rely on conceptualization, like design philosophy, design concept, with those mother statements, just using Google and AI. But the thing is, and this is really an alarming problem even for thesis level, that they are so poor in translation because they like to copy these really well written concepts, but they don't really understand the depth of the concept. And with this, they said so many nice things about how they want to implement a particular regenerative urban design in the marketplace, yet the perspectives that they generated are not totally related to the design. Okay? Then third is the open space render unrelated to the design proposal. And this time, the topic was about subdivision development. Of course, there were facilities inside. And again, the perspective has nothing to do with the site plan and the design. Okay? So, what happened? Okay? So, of course, architecture school would tell you that you should do site observation, research, analysis, strategy, design, and representation. But what I have observed with some of my lazy students, okay, let me use the word lazy, okay? I already asked them to go to a site visit that was like 2 kilometers away, very cheap transportation, yet they relied on Google Maps. Okay? So, what else? Solar path. Definitely Philippines, because of our location above the equator, but below the Tropic of Cancer. The sun path is east, a little south, then west. I'm surprised that even in thesis level, I have seen a board wherein the north, the sun path suddenly went to the north rather than the south. Okay? So, that's alarming because that's fundamental. And of course, it's going to affect how you're going to design your facade, light, ventilation. Okay? So, what they do is, they type a prompt, then they get an image generation or a design solution, then they submit to me because it's already deadline and it's 4 a.m. Okay. So, these challenges emerge during this time and we cannot ignore it. And no matter how we say that, oh, you're not supposed to use AI in school. But the thing is, even the professors don't want to say that they're using AI. Joking. Okay, so that means it's not something that we should ignore. Okay, it's like you're using an analog phone, but you have an Android, but for just being stubborn, you want to use Nokia 3310. Okay? So, with that, of course, I did a lot of research, a lot of reading, and across all of the literature that I came across, actually I had a table prepared, but I didn't want to overwhelm the students, hence I omitted it here, but I can share the presentation with my colleagues here. Okay, so I look at studies, and the findings are, number 1, AI is really unavoidable. Number 2, because of the changing times, we have to adapt, hence curriculum reform is necessary. And third, and very important, is human judgment remains essential. Okay? So, as we go through the presentation, I want everyone to keep an open mind. Okay? I'm not saying that you should use AI, but please keep an open mind, okay, when we go through this presentation. Okay, so, again, like what I've said earlier, may it be an urban planning skill or you're just doing interiors, it's important that you have to make your observation on site. Okay? Even if you already know the sun path, but the thing is, there is microclimate conditions. All right? And this cannot be replaced no matter how good you are in prompting, even if you know Python and so on and so forth. Okay? So, what exactly are architecture schools trying to teach us? Okay? AI can generate possibilities, but it's architects who really generate meaning. Okay, decline of observation. Again, it's so convenient to sit in a coffee shop, open your tablet, and open ChatGPT, and open Gemini, and so on and so forth. And even now, Claude can make your presentation, just put in the topic, and it will even find the sources. And even Claude is more advanced nowadays. But I just find it funny. I don't know if I have superpowers, but even without the use of any detection software, I know that it's from AI. Okay? So there's one time I had a friend who showed me a proposal, and I saw that it was really AI. Why? Even if the grammar was superb, and at first look, you would see that the concepts are very impressive. But if you look at the entire context of how it was written, you know that it lacks depth, it lacks research, no matter how good the grammar is. Okay? So, talking about communities, okay, so sometimes we fall in the trap that we think we are the best people on earth because we are trained comprehensively in architecture school. Like, we're good with human behavior, some engineering, environmental studies, blah, blah, blah. But you design for people, you don't design for yourself. And more often than not, your assumption is not always right. Okay? So, me, especially, I handle fourth year class. That means it's the year before the thesis year. Okay? In the Philippines, architecture school is straight, first to fifth year. Okay? So what happens is, I spoke with my dean, and we both agreed that I will be the last line of defense, meaning I get to screen who is not supposed to take the thesis. And at the same time, guide them, because she learned that I really stress the importance of setting the problem, and at the same time, finding the objectives, okay? So we do that for fourth year a lot. Like, I was even asked to teach research methods. I'm not saying I'm good in research methods, but I like to insist. That's why I'm there. Okay, so observation alone is not enough. Student must also learn to think creatively and critically. So sometimes the students get so excited, like if they are able to get a set of maps from the local government, they tend to be excited and insert all of the maps in the report, yet they cannot correlate the map to the actual problem. And sometimes they use really hard English words that they don't know the meaning because they copied it from ChatGPT. Okay? So, aside from observation, you have also to analyze and you also have to evaluate, right? So, again, that's the pitfall of AI. It seems it has a semblance of being perfect, but the thing is, it really lacks context, and sometimes when I'm bored, I talk with ChatGPT for an hour or two. Okay? But, it's like a wheel. We start, then we discuss. It sounds so promising, but again, we go down because AI in general, let's not demonize ChatGPT. It lacks analysis, evaluation, okay? The algorithm is very limited. Okay, compared to if you do your research well, okay, like if you have a review of related literature, you really try to process and get what is relative to the problem that you have at hand. Okay, so I also look at studies in different universities in Asia. Why Asia? Because it's closer to home, the culture. It's a stark contrast if I use the Western model. Okay, and especially in the beginning of ChatGPT, majority of the outputs were really based in the Western model. Okay, so I didn't include that lengthy discussion, but to summarize, again, AI is unavoidable. AI literacy matters. Critical evaluation is essential. Faculty development matters, and curriculum redesign is unavoidable. So I believe as an educator, education is not a one-way street. I can also learn from my students. Okay. And at the age of AI, I cannot be behind my students because, well, number one, I feel stupid, and number two, how can I guide them if they know technology more than I do? Okay, so it really is important. Okay, so students, creativity, and co-authorship. Okay, there's an interesting study, and this is from the Philippines. Okay, so surprisingly, the result is students had a good impression of AI, but they were scared that AI would eventually replace them as professionals. Hence, they think that maybe how architecture is in the Philippines in the age of AI is not future-proofed. So, they're scared that the opportunities would decrease. They cannot get work in the future. Architecture would be obsolete. Okay? Well, so again, let's go back to the question. Should AI design? Okay, so humans definitely have contextual understanding, empathy, memory, experience, ethical judgment. Okay? So one time I was talking to AI because I was so bored. I said, I have a crush on this guy. What do you think should I do? Then he answered something. Then I said, oh, I'm so happy you understand that I am in love. Then AI said, I only understand it from the text that I can search in the web, but I don't have feelings like you do. Okay, so you'd see there that there's really a disparity between how the human brain works compared to a machine that processes millions and maybe billions of data. Okay? So, for me, there are things that as an architect you should know, but we are not God. We don't know everything. So there are things that you can relegate to AI, such as bulk of information. But the fundamentals and foundation, you should know. Okay? So there's a difference between AI-assisted learning and AI-assisted avoidance of learning. Okay? This is quite interesting. Because it's different that you accept that AI is a tool, but it's different when, to begin with, you within yourself, you are a lazy architect or a lazy designer or a lazy student. Why? Because it only means that whatever technology there is, after AI, definitely there will be a different technology. But at the end of the day, if you are not ethical, if you don't like what you do, it only magnifies the problem. Okay? So, I don't like to demonize AI. But let's be aware, that's the problem. It's going to magnify whatever bad that is already existing. Okay, so already we know this: observe, interpret, generate, evaluate, and translate. Okay, I was talking, my dean last year pulled me to the side and said, Becca, what do you think about AI? So I said, I explained things how I explained to you. Then I told her, but the thing is, Dean, if you try to use AI using the traditional design process, you would really think that it's faulty. Because for a new technology, you have to amend the process and the curriculum. Okay? So let's look at a particular case study. This really happened because I did this. Okay? I didn't ask permission from the dean. I'm a bad girl. I'm a bad Hello Kitty. So so I like doing experiments with my students. They are my social experiment. An example of which is a notebook. Okay? I require my students, especially for lecture classes, to have a notebook. And they were like, why? There's EVA, there's Teams, there's Canva. But I did an experiment, and the conclusion is the classes who I required to submit a notebook, number one, had a higher rate of passing, and number two, the grades were higher. And that is actually backed up by neuroscience. I love science. I almost became a doctor. So I love science. So neuroscience supports that the mere practice of writing or drawing by hand actually makes your brain sharper and you become more analytical. Okay, so I'm just going back to how I implemented AI. Let's look at my design subject. It's Design 7, Community Architecture and Urban Design. Okay, and the plate is the master plan and design of the Muslim town in Manila. Okay, it's, well, just for context, we are 90% Catholic. So, you know, it's a minority and it's due for regeneration. I took 2 flights to get here. But anyway, so anyway, to make the long story short, we did a little bit tweaking on the design process, wherein I asked them to, instead of getting pegs in Google about their aspirations on how to regenerate the area, they had to use AI forcibly. It's a requirement. And the outputs were quite interesting because it doesn't look like any Muslim surrounding. So what's the effect? This is quite interesting. What happened was the student criticized the work of AI. So they used their brain. They didn't accept that. Okay? Because she wants me to stop talking, I will go to the other slide. So these are, you know, this is my best student. They were also my student in Design 8. So they came up with these AI-generated images. But at the end of the day, they made really good design on their own. So this is human-generated. The previous one was generated. Okay, next is Design 8, design of complex structure. So more often than not, we design hospitals, airports, or high-rise. But in this case, it's an airport development. It's meant to decongest the airport in the capital. Okay, so again, we try to insert AI during only the schematic design period. Okay, they still have to do the plans and drawings. We have consultation every week. So these are the AI-generated images. Okay? But this is their output. Okay? So I asked them, how do you feel about AI? Because I was lucky to have the same student for the 2 consecutive design. They said, really, ma'am, it really helps because it broadens our horizon and we think beyond the shape of a rectangle. Okay, next is an iconic skyscraper, but the approach here is a bit different. Okay, so what I did is I prescribed certain prompts. I think I prescribed 5 different prompts that correspond to different priorities. So like the first one, we have the climate responsive morphology. Next is structural and seismic expression. Third is wind, dune, and aerodynamic form. Then programmatic vertical zoning. And last is iconic and cultural abstraction. So it produced of course, different appearances or building forms based on the prompt. But then again, what's good is the students saw that it's wrong. Okay? They became more analytical than when I didn't ask them to use AI. And that's surprising. And again, if AI magnifies what is bad, it also magnifies what is good. They became really analytical. Okay? So this is AI. Yeah, this is human. Okay? And last is the sponge campus planning. So again, I asked them to use AI during the schematics for the school plan and generating tropical climate responsiveness. Okay? So they produce this based on the different prompts that I prescribed. And surprisingly, even if I use the same prompt, what happened is the design solutions generated were also varied. And again, what happened is it became a positive thing because my students troubleshooted the errors of AI and they had been more critical and they had been more advanced in their subsequent product. Okay? So, of course, this is AI, this is human. Okay? So, I don't want to discuss this because this is boring for the students. Okay, so in my research methods class, I started teaching about AI ethics and how you should use it when it comes to research because I cannot say that I am banning it, but at the same time, there is limitation on how you use, especially in publications, research papers. Okay? So integrity also raises questions of authorship. So if you design with AI, who is the author? You or AI? Okay, so I've given a talk in one of the provinces in the Philippines, and there's this gentleman, and he looks like he was so annoyed about AI. Then he said, ano ba yung AI? Well, what is AI? I think it's architectural intelligence, not artificial intelligence. But you know, if the guy is irritated, I should just pacify him and get done and over with it. So I said, sir, do you want to use Nokia 3310 or Android? So he got what I meant. Okay? So, all right, I just have an anecdote regarding heritage. So, just recently, I presented a paper in collaboration with the University of Putra, Malaysia, in the Asian Architects and Academic Assembly. Whew! So, her name is Dr. Suda. She's from Bali. And she presented AI in heritage. So what happened is she experienced the same experience that I had with my Muslim Town project. The images generated by AI is nothing close to Balinese architecture, even if you say it's Bali architecture. That's why I want to start a paper with her, okay? So, having said that, it's us only who can design. It's us only who can do the conservation work. We are just aided by AI in some of the lesser jobs. Okay? So, AI recognizes patterns. Human interpret meanings. So, I just want to echo what Professor Rafiq said earlier. Like, you have Rumi, you have Vincent van Gogh. I don't think AI would find that meaning automatically to the design, okay? So the challenge is no longer teaching students how to use AI, but to teach students what should never be delegated to AI. Okay, thank you.
You mean AI never change?
Thank you very much. That's an interesting question, because now this is a very big issue for young generation. For example, once we call like egoistic, as he said, they all talking about ego to eco, the doctor says your body is homeostasis. There is a word, homeostasis means your body is in balance, in harmony, but doesn't mean that it's normal. As your kidney is working hard because you have eaten maybe not right, but it's working hard to balance that heart is not going to be damaged or any other parts will do damage. Sometimes heart is pumping too much, but others are actually not working that hard. But everybody together, a whole day, they're all struggling. I don't know which part of your body is really to fighting, struggling, working hard to make you body balance. You are in balance mode, no? So this is how you are not sick, you are healthy. So it means you have to work all together to make it a balance. Architecture is something like that. Sometimes archaeology is important, sometimes sociology important, sometimes anthropology important, sometimes material important, sometimes climate is important, sometimes culture is important, sometimes AI is important, technology, how you are going to process the project. So everything you have to understand. That's why architecture has no limitation. There is no definition of, like a football player, you just call he is a player, finish, or he's a singer, or she's a dancer. But architect, who is an architect? Is a planner, designer, contractor, or graphic designer, everything actually, everything. So that's why architect's power is knowledge to understand. Sometimes he or she understands how to, connect with the culture, connect with the landscape, connect with the all over the world, global issues, So this is how you have to balance things together and come up a solution. That's then it will become a balanced, harmonized architecture.
Yeah.
So you have to learn so many things around, Then you will become. So that's why architects become famous at the older age. Unlike a player, like a 20 years and 19 years of Lamine Yamal becomes the world famous. None of architects will become 19 years old and world famous. They're all like 70 years because they gain knowledge, understand everything together, and then come to a point they understand how to harmonize things and become nice. So it will take time.
Thank you, Professor. I think it's really wise how the position of the architects is how to deliver the better environment, right? So our position is not only to pressing our ego, but how to solve the problem and how to deliver the more better the quality of the built environment. Thank you, Professor Azam. Maybe for the closing statement, I'm going to give first on Alan and also have to give kind of motivation to our student to move their practice after they graduate from the university. Also for the closing statement, maybe you first, Alan.
Okay. Hopefully you enjoy today's presentation from all of us. You can see quite different. If from my side, I'm working closely with the community. So of course, architect, we design buildings, but actually its ultimate is you design spaces for people, for different people. So be open-minded, listen to their leads, and also, of course, like the baking process, be patient. Don't be too rushed, and be sincere. So when you talk to somebody, it's a stranger, you have to be sincere so they can tell you what they want. So then you can, I'm sure, you can become amazing architects in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. And then Zainab, maybe can you give kind of a closing statement or motivation to the student who attend today, please?
I believe it's a very hard working profession. So you can already experience, yeah, and you can experience from your student life, and I think it will be rest of the years like student life. And for that, what Mr. Rafiq Azam said, that an architect would actually flourish at their older age mostly. So for that, we have to be healthy, yeah? We have to be fit and good to work, good for the site visits, you know. We need the fitness. So I think, yeah, fitness is mandatory and hardworking.
Yeah, thank you. It's really important. Becca, please. This is your turn, yeah. Can you give some closing statement, also motivation for the student? Because Becca also lecture, right? So we can
Yes.
have a different, same perspective regarding how hard the architecture work, please.
Sometimes we get lost with looking at different building systems, different priorities. But for me, my guiding principle is whatever it is, you are designing for humans and you're not designing for popularity. That's it.
Thank you, Becca. And the last, Professor Azam, please give some.
Yeah, I'll focus just probably two things. One is the reason I'm traveling all over the world with the book, actually the launch of the books started with Sydney Opera House. The reason is actually I want to raise a question, but the purpose of architecture is not on right track now internationally. Architecture is all about, you know, fancy big buildings, you know, the glass buildings, and it's all about the money and investment and capitalism and flashy things are happening. But the deprived people of the community, they have no connection with the architecture and architects. So like Alan is also working in the same direction. He was asked himself a question that what I'm doing, what the hell I'm doing. So this question will be coming up from the community one day, what the hell architects are doing. They're all these people's servant, and we have nothing to do with architects and architecture. But actually architects are the most powerful and only profession who can implement things physically. None of the profession in the world can implement things physically. The movie makers, only the 2D screen, and the planners, all the drawings and policies, and only and painters, basically, you know, sculptors is just to see from distance. Nothing to do with the life, basically. But the architects, the only community, they can implement and they can change life of the people, particularly the community people, the normal people, deprived people. We are the only professional can change the life of the people. So, but if you don't work like that, so your architecture will become serving the rich people only, and you probably become the servant of the rich people one day. So be careful, raise question, and think for the people, not only for the rich people.
Yeah.
This one thing. And another thing, just I'll stress, since architects become older and then become really someone who can say, who can do, who can talk, we can inspire people, change community, it needs time. So be careful of your health from the beginning, and the day will come, you will be matured, you will be knowledgeable, you are intellectually rich, but physically very, very poor, and it doesn't work together. Health bad, mind strong, doesn't work. You're healthy, your mind works together, so you have to be careful from the day one that these things coming, I need to prepare myself mentally and physically. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Zasan. Okay. This is also the reflection for our, as architecture profession, how to deliver the better for architectural practice. Finally, we arrive in the end of this season, but before we close, there is something that will going by Becca to the head of the program. Pak Aji, please welcome in front.
Okay, so, sir, this is a small token from our dean and the National University Fairview Campus School of Architecture, and we hope to forge collaborations and mobility programs with you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. All right. Okay, let me grab my stuff. All right. Okay, just a quick one. All right. So, as mentioned, my office also publishes magazine. So annually, we have the recent 2-year magazine. So one is about diversity and inclusivity. This one is about play. So Playful City. So these two magazines. So if students are interested, you can look at it. And then this is a yellow book. How many copies I have? I have 5. So, all right. So you can, whoever interested, you can get it from Professor. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, can we take the picture together, Prof. Rafiq? How to the scenes better? The will be here, and you take the picture from in front. Okay, we'll be seated here, so we take the picture together. All is standing, right? It's better. Berdiri aja kan? Okay. Berdiri dulu. All standing, ayo berdiri dulu. We take the picture together. You can be here, right? Huh? Okay, tuh. So we move to this, face to this location, ya? Menghadap ke sana? Oh yeah, the student behind. Sorry, the student in behind us. Please go here. Ayo ke sini. The student behind us. Prof. Ibrahim is here. In the middle, yes. Please Pak Haji. Agak mundur dikit ya, gitu. Can we move back? The speakers may be on the stage, and the student, and the student in the bottom, Ayo, merapat. Mbak Desta. Ayo. It's good. All is including the frame, not yet. Kamu geser ke sana, tengahnya Desta nggak apa-apa. Oh ya udah, oke. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay, with the freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, enough. Okay, thank you. Give applause to us. You can back to your seat maybe.
Okay. Okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes Architect Talk Series 24. Before we officially close today's event, let us express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala by reciting the tahmid together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.